Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 5 Minutes with Gray Hair Dave. My name's Gray Hair Dave. My name's Dave. I have gray hair, hence the word. Welcome to episode 12. Sorry I'm not as energetic as I was yesterday. I've got a migraine today, and it's been bad. Anyways, it doesn't mean that I am not concerned about getting my podcast out, so I'm getting my podcast out today. Hopefully this migraine goes away and we can get back to regular operating circumstances, as it were. So, episode 12. I'm not even going to look to see what I was supposed to talk about with ChatGPT because I don't care. We were talking about cars yesterday. Cars. the Pinto blowing up. Oh, you got to remember, that was the rare occasion. I think you had to hit it just right. But, it's had that reputation. I tell you what, as I grew older, I noticed I cared less and less about cars. I still liked cars. I just cared less and less about a status of a car. I didn't have to have the hot rod. I didn't have to have the fastest car. I didn't have to have the newest car. I didn't have to have the one of a kinds that nobody else has. I was married, and that was more important than cars. So, had a house and we had things to do. Now, that doesn't mean that I still don't enjoy driving my car. But, it's other things are more important now. Now I use it as a means to get back and forth to work. Or to get around. Anyways, it's a method to get around town and to get to where I want to go and do what I want to do. Now I have a nice car now. I had a couple of pickup trucks. I had a pickup truck when I moved from Michigan to Florida. And luckily it had an 8-foot bed. It didn't have the short 6-foot bed that my last truck had. But, I used that to come down here to Florida. If it didn't fit in my truck, it didn't come with me. I brought a computer with me, and I brought TVs with me. I didn't even bring a TV with me. Figured I'd buy one when I got down here. Brought my clothes. I left a bunch of stuff at my brother's house. Pots and pans and dishes and stuff like that just weren't going to fit until I found a place to be. So, I couldn't do that. And luckily, my brother Paul had a huge basement, and he was able to store a few boxes for me. In fact, my best friend and I, Lisa, went up to Michigan for a wedding, which is the only time I've been back, was to go to my niece Emily's wedding. And we went to Paul's basement, Lisa and I did, and we repackaged everything. Decided what I was going to bring down and what I was not, because Lisa and I were a couple at that point, and we were living together. We'll get more into the Lisa story a little later on in the podcast, but Lisa's my best friend, still going to be, always going to be. I've got a lot of best friends, and most of them are girls. One's name is Diane, another one's name is Diane, another one's name is not Diane. It's Lisa. But there were some times where girls were my best friends because girls could listen to me. And I'm empathetic to what they've got going on too, so I listen. I like to listen too. So I've always had female best friends since I was going through my first divorce. So Diane and Diane were right there for me. And Lori was a big part of that and a big best friend for me for years too. When I lived in Kansas City. Miss them all very much. Wish I could see them. But, I live here. They live there. So, anyways, our lives have all changed since that time. Because there was a time that I used to live with with Diane and Diane. And then there was a time after Diane left that Lori came in. And then another time that, it just seemed like there was always two girls in the house in me. And that was fine with me. Didn't make dating harder. It just, man, I always had female companionship around, which was always very nice. So anyways, that was then, and we'll talk more about that as life goes on. But anyway, the weather's better here today. We finally got back up into the 70s, pushing 80. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 80s. But let's get back to cars. So after I got rid of the first truck here, I went out and got another car. I got a nice car. I got a Malibu, which was very nice. I was very, very much in love with that car. It was a great car. It looked good. It was sharp. I tell you, I can't count the amount of cars I've had. I could, and over the years since I was 16 when I got my official driver's license. So, anyways, folks, I got a headache. I'm going to call it an early day. Hope that's okay with you. Tell your friends. I'm human. I have headaches too once in a while. But tell your friends, Gray Hair Dave's out there. It's just 5 minutes of Gray Hair Dave. Today it's going to be about 6. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow, and hopefully I'm feeling better. I'm taking my Tylenol, and I'm taking whatever I've got to do. I'm also taking NyQuil to go to sleep. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow is a little bit longer, a little bit more energetic. So we'll talk to you tomorrow, folks. Thanks from Gray Hair Dave. Bye-bye.